For most of my life, I measured my worth by other people's approval. Thumbs up on social media, compliments from colleagues, even nods of respect from family. In my 70s, I realized I was still performing, still seeking applause for every little thing. I would tailor my choices, what to wear, what to say, even who to be, based on how I thought others would react. Then, on a quiet afternoon shortly after my 70th birthday, I caught my reflection wearing a smile that wasn't mine. I felt like an actor trapped in a never-ending play, and in that moment I made a decision. I would stop chasing approval and start honoring my own truth. This video is for anyone who has ever felt unseen beneath the weight of expectation. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll share the moments that led me to let go of external validation, why I finally spoke my real thoughts, followed my own passions, and discovered the freedom of living authentically. If you've ever wondered what lies on the other side of seeking approval, stay with me. Because embracing your own truth can be the greatest liberation of all. The costume of conformity. In my early 70s, I attended a community gala in a suit I had chosen because it looked distinguished. I spent the evening greeting people, nodding politely and hiding behind practiced smiles. Late that night, I peeled off the jacket and sank into my armchair, exhausted and empty. I realized I had been wearing masks, dressing to impress, speaking, to please, even laughing on cue. What would happen if I removed the costume? The first honest no, I tested my resolve the next week. My neighbor invited me to judge a baking contest. Baking was never my talent, and judging felt trivial. The old me would have agreed. Instead, I paused and replied, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I will pass." My heart thumped, but I felt a crack of relief. That simple no was a seed of authenticity. Have you ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? How did it feel? Reclaiming my opinions. Growing up, I learned to stay quiet in family debates. But at 72, during a small book club discussion, I discovered my voice again. The group debated a controversial ending, and I realized I disagreed entirely. My heart pounded, but I spoke up. I see it differently because the room went silent and then sparkled with engagement. My perspective mattered. I mattered. Rediscovering passions for decades, I abandoned hobbies that didn't look productive. My guitar gathered dust until 68. One afternoon, I picked it up, strummed a familiar chord, and the music flowed. Messy, but real. Over weeks, I taught myself new songs and even performed at a small open mic, hearing genuine applause. For something I loved, rather than something I was supposed to do, reawakened my spirit. Unfollowing the noise social media was a well of comparison. I would scroll through curated lives and feel inadequate. At 73, I unsubscribed from feeds that made me feel small. Instead, I followed artists, old friends, and accounts that sparked curiosity. I replaced envy with inspiration. Unfollowing approval-seeking feeds cleared space for my own creativity to bloom. Embracing vulnerability. One morning, I hosted a small gathering on my porch. I shared my fear. I have spent my life seeking your approval. Today, I just want to be honest. I spoke of regrets, joys, and the freedom I craved. Tears glistened in eyes around me. Instead of judgment, I received compassion. My vulnerability became a bridge to deeper connection. Setting boundaries with kindness. Letting go of approval did not mean rudeness. I learned to set kind boundaries. I appreciate your suggestion, but I prefer to handle this my way. I discovered that respect for my own limits invited respect from others. My relationships grew healthier and more genuine. The ritual of daily affirmation. Each morning, I stood before the mirror and declared 3 affirmations. I am enough. I trust my path. I honor my truth. Speaking these words out loud felt strange at first, but over time, they rewired my self-belief. I no longer needed external praise to validate my worth. Living unscripted life without scripts can feel chaotic, but in my 70s, that chaos felt alive. I began saying yes to spontaneous road trips, yes to off-the-cuff conversations, yes to creative experiments. I watched the sunrise from a cliffside, tried pottery on a whim, and danced barefoot in my living room. Authentic living is messy, but it is vibrantly real. I realized my greatest gift to younger generations was authenticity. My grandchildren watched me open my journal to share fears and dreams. My friends saw me set boundaries without shame. In stepping off the approval treadmill, I became a quiet teacher, showing that true strength lies in being yourself. Let us pause. The first step was shedding the mask. We practiced saying no with respect. We reclaimed our opinions. We rekindled passions and unfollowed noise. We embraced vulnerability and set kind boundaries. We anchored in daily affirmations and danced off script. Which step resonates most with you? Write it in the comments and begin your own journey. Chasing approval is a path that leads nowhere satisfying, but honoring your own truth, your real self, opens doors to joy, connection, and peace. It is never too late to step off the stage and live unscripted. Now I ask, what is one approval-seeking habit you will release today? How might your life change if you spoke your truth just once? Share your commitment in the comments. Your courage could inspire someone else to find their voice. If this video moved you, please like it, share it with someone who needs permission to be authentic, and subscribe for more stories of real transformation at every age. And I will leave you with this. To be yourself in a world that strives to make you something else is your greatest freedom. Thank you for watching. Live your truth. It is the most beautiful story you will ever tell.